Welcome back to another Warhammer 2 multiplayer battle. This is going to be the Dowie versus the Tomb Kings. For my army over here, we have 2 miners with blasting charges and 3 normal dwarf warriors as our front line because the Tomb Kings, again, their infantry is not super armored, nor is it super offensive. It's just kind of meant to be a tar pit unit, a speed bump, just to slow your forces down. So, didn't really think I would need a super elite front line to take out theirs. And also, the blasting charges can do really well against, I think, all of their infantry, including the tomb guards. They should do pretty well. So that's our front line. Our leadership over here is going to be right behind them. We have Ungrim Iron Fist because I expect a lot of constructs in a Tomb King versus Dowie matchup because the Tomb Kings have a lot of good constructs that are large and do very well against Dowie units. Then I also have a Thane with the sword that can net people around them. We also have one group of Hammerers. We have the Grumbling Guard and 2 Slayers for our remaining infantry units. Slayers for obvious reasons. Hammerers are just... I really like them now that they were made cheaper in the last patch. I've liked them ever since then. And then the Grumbling Guard have always just basically been solid. The 2 Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes I thought would do good in this matchup because they are armor piercing and anti-large. Again, I was expecting a lot of constructs from the Tomb Kings. And then the Organ Guns, I got 2 of them specifically to see how well they would fare against Ushabti Great Bows. Because in a matchup with Tomb Kings and Dowie, it is probably like 170% guarantee that you're going to get Ushabti Great Bows to fight against you. And in all other matchups, it's 100%, but against the Dowie, it's 170% that you're going to be seeing them. So I knew they were coming, and so I wanted to try the Organ Guns to see specifically how they would do against the Ushabti, and then, of course, against the other constructs as well. Speaking of the Tomb Kings, hey, they got 3 Ushabti Great Bows because they are armor-piercing, long-range, and just really good units of the Tomb. They're like the Lothern Sea Guard for the High Elves, kind of. Like, you're probably going to see them in most matchups. Obviously, they do different things, but I'm just saying, like, for the comparison there. So they got 3 of those, including the renowned one, the Chosen of the Gods. Their leadership over here running towards us is Arkham the Black, that has Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, and Purple Sun. And then we have 2 Carrion Birds. I imagine the plan here is to try and tie up our artillery or any range units that we have with the birds, because that's kind of what their role is. Then back here we have 5 of the Skeletal Warriors. So again, not very strong infantry. They only have 10 armor. Their stats are really bad, but they're very cheap, and they hang on for a long time because they never rout. They have a high amount of hit points, and they do every generation throughout the entire battle as their units die off. And then behind those, we have 2 War Sphinx, which the War Sphinx has a ranged attack, which is not bad. Decent range as well, and a ton of ammunition. But the main thing, again, for them is going to be that they are armor-piercing and anti-infantry each, so both of these are going to fulfill that role. And then we also have a Tomb Scorpion. So their entire army is kind of geared to kill dwarves, which... I mean, any army that goes up against dwarves is hopefully made to kill dwarves because dwarves are very easy to counter due to them relying on their heavy armor, and they are all pretty of a, small stature, let's say. So it's kind of easy to bring a counter for them. So let us get into it. My Organ Guns, I wanted to try and take out the Chosen of the Gods first because the Chosen of the Gods are the ones that have the shrapnel. You'll see coming down here, and they do... oh, there it is. They're shooting my Organ Gun. They can do a lot of damage. You can see Spirit Leech going on Ungrim Iron Fist because why not? It's a good target to start whittling down. He doesn't have any potions. I don't have any healing, so it's a good choice. Meanwhile, the Carrion Birds are trying to get around the flanks. I'm going to be keeping the Slayers kind of nearby our Organ Guns. And I'm seeing that the War Sphinx is coming up this way, so we're trying to get the Iron Drakes over here to respond to their attack and to our front line. And over here, I'm kind of getting in a very bad formation. So right here, I'm actually going to make the decision to start pulling back because we do not want to engage in this kind of crooked style. We want to have a strong front line, so we're going to halt these. And actually, I should be pulling them back at some point. Maybe I just pull back the Dwarf Warriors. But there we go. Like, I'm starting to pull back the Hammerers. I think I should start pulling... Yeah, there we go. Starting to pull back the Dwarf Warriors. So we need to make a strong line right here. The 2 Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes are going to be shooting at the War Sphinx. Here come those birds, which I figured were going to be hitting our Organ Guns. That's why I left my Slayers nearby. Now, Slayers do not do bonus damage or anything versus Carrion Birds, because Carrion Birds, again, are small. They are not large. But still, Slayers have a very high base attack, and they have really good melee attack as well. I should say high base weapon strength and a pretty good melee attack. So even without their bonuses, they can still do well against the Carrion Birds. Archon the Black riding around the side. I don't remember why. I think they cast, or will be casting, a Fate of Buna, I think, on the Hammers. But over here, you can see that our 2 Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes just wrecked this War Sphinx, because that's exactly what they are made to do. They are made to destroy large constructs like this, and they are doing that role pretty well. We have made the birds question their assault on our Organ Guns as they continue to pound the Chosen of the Gods. I'm now chasing them with one of our units here, the Miners with Blasting Charges. Oh, my bad, it wasn't Fate of Buna, it was a Purple Sun that they were going to drop on our Hammers, and the Purple Sun doing a lot of good damage to the Hammers there. It really kind of sucked for me because the hammers are some of my main, you know, oomph power in the army, and they just got, I think they kind of got wrecked a little bit. War Sphinx still there because it is a construct, it is undead, so it will not rout. So we're going to have to try and shoot it a few more times. Meanwhile, our front line is engaged against the Skeletal Warriors, but they are not much to really worry about. It is the Tomb Scorpion, the second War Sphinx, which is now on our flank, and Archon the Black that I'm more worried about. Pulling back our leadership over here to try and get closer to the center of where we need to protect, which is our 2 Iron Drakes, which I'm starting to pull back around this area, and of course get close to our organ guns. I'm seeing that the War Sphinx is coming over here, so we're going to get the Thane over here because they do have the net sword that I haven't used yet. And you can see that they just destroyed my hammers. The great bows that are still remaining just kind of finished them off, and the War Sphinx came over here and made them rout. They are going to come back from routing over here. But the main purpose of over here is to try and intercept the Sphinx and Archon with our Thane's net before they get to our organ gun or our Iron Drakes. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So we're going to net Archon the Black and the War Sphinx, and we're already pulling in our Iron Drakes to start and try and take advantage of the situation. And that is by shooting Archon in the face multiple times with giant torpedoes. And that is what we are going to be doing there. We're going to get our Slayers over here as well because Archon does not have a high... Actually, no, he does have high armor. My bad. I was about to say he didn't have a high armor. I must be thinking of Kotep. Is Kotep one that has low armor? Maybe he's the one. Actually, 90 armor is pretty good for a caster. What the hell? I'm still getting used to the Tomb King units. Oh my god, 90 armor. Anyway, so even with the high armor, though, the Iron Drake torpedoes are going to do a lot of good damage, as you see there. We're going to try and intercept him here with the hammers because he's running right into them. We have the 2 great bows trying to get in closer. I think they were still trying to do range damage, but they must have like line of sight blockage, so they forced themselves up here to try and get closer and get line of sight on our organ gun, I think. Which is being hit by the second Chimera War Sphinx. The other one we did finish off, I think, like, yeah, there it is, right there. So now we're trying to keep our Iron Drake Toro Hammer torpedoes away from the War Sphinx, try and tie down with the Slayers and anything else that's nearby, trying to kill the birds as well, and we're trying to get back into position over here to shoot more into the War Sphinx. Meanwhile, over here, we did trap Archon the Black with all those hammers, and we finished him off with the Thane, the hammers, and Ungrim the Iron Fist, I think, was chasing the great bows. But they are faster than Ungrim, because everything is faster than Ungrim. So they ran away successfully, but we did intercept them here with the miners, trying to just keep them out of their bow position. That doesn't make sense. We're trying to keep them from firing their bows. And there we go. The organ gun crew is coming back online. The other one never stopped, and so we're going to start firing back into the who shot through the great bows. Who again, I think we're trying to find a line of sight on something, or I guess maybe the player just ran them into melee, which is not the best idea at this point, but I guess that's what they did. War Sphinx coming in to try and shut down our organ guns, but honestly, right here, and the battle is about to end here soon. But the problem wasn't the organ guns. Honestly, I was very upset with how slow the organ guns were at taking down the great bows. The problem for that player was the Iron Drakes, but they kept trying to destroy the organ guns because I guess, you know, it's a giant artillery piece, so, you know, obviously you want to take that out first. And they do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but they weren't doing as much as I wanted. Again, I was kind of sad at how little, like, they still did eventually kill off, you know, this great bow. They did do some damage otherwise, but like it took them a long time, especially considering there are 2 of them firing at this one unit. It took a long time to bring them down, but it was really the Iron Drakes that were destroying the War Sphinx. And the Tomb Scorpion, I didn't even get to touch. I think they actually left the game there. I don't think they shattered at all. But they did leave the game now that Archon was destroyed. The second War Sphinx was on its way down. The Ushabti were gone, so I don't know if they could have won. They still had a Tomb Scorpion. This thing still had some health left, but I think for the most part, with my 2 Iron Drakes still operational, and the hammers and the Slayer and stuff, the running was probably on the wall. But anyway, good game to Samithia? Yeah, I think Samithia. Hope you enjoyed the Dowie versus the Tomb Kings there. And Archon the Black has 90 armor? 90 for a caster? Why can't Kimmler get that love? Strap a breastplate on Kimmler. He needs some love. I love Kimmler. I don't need... Anyway, this isn't Vampire Counts. Let's go watch a cinematic view of the battle, everybody. These units are so good. So good. And whenever Norska comes back, if they ever come back, they're basically a myth at this point. Remember, Iron Drake Troll Hammer torpedoes are really good at killing mammoths. But against mammoths, you're probably going to want 3 of them as a group shooting the mammoth at the same time to bring it down quick enough. Again, if Norska ever comes back. I don't even know if they're ever real to begin with. It's like a fever dream of mammoths and werewolves at this point. And I don't think Ungrim did, like, anything in this battle, because he never does. You have a cool cloak, your hair is still amazing, you have really good stats, but you just... Ungrim just sucks. Because people can just walk away from him, not even fast. Just, like, walk backwards. That's all you need to do, and there you go, you countered Ungrim. Just don't fight him. It's so sad. Him and, like, Grimgor suffer the same fate. They're very powerful fighters, but only if the enemy is like, you know what, yeah, I'll fight you, I guess, instead of walking away. Cool little breath attack. I haven't seen much of the War Sphinx because I haven't even used them yet. That's a lie. I've mounted Cetra on a War Sphinx because Cetra does have a War Sphinx as an option, and I have used that.
Go! Move! Dwarves, ready access!
No, the dwarf! Goodbye, dwarf. They were never seen again.
Shield bearers, ho! Get them! Fire! Kazuk! Slay the
What up, Archon? Wait, Arkham. Whatever your name is. R. What up, R? Alright, little friendly fire there. I guess you got a couple good hits in there. You got a couple good... Okay, now you're on the ground. Also, this War Sphinx is blocking the shots that are meant for you. And then you run right into a bunch of pissed off hammerers that want revenge for that purple sun. It's a cool staff he has. Also a very fancy hat. I like your hat.
Nothing can stop us. Get him!
Very well, buddy.
Rage far, rage fast. Stop. Attack. Move now. Drops. Will do. This won't miss fire. Kill Baron. Oh. I'm on them. Cashew. Hello, turn. Take them down! Hey, hush you, come on! Go.
Line it up. Oh, we don't even get to see him fire. Weird that there's like this hitch up at the end of the replay. There we go, friends. Some Dowie versus the Tomb Kings. Hope you enjoyed, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Take care.